They say it takes a village to build a startup, and today we're definitely taking you right into the heart of it. So Paul, welcome to the very first podcast show and episode, and I hope you're as excited as I am. I'm definitely excited. I have heard your story once or twice, very inspiring I must say, and I hope we can be able to actually dive deeper into that from really the toughest points, or like what you were doing when you were back in the States, to how that journey then led you to what you're doing today, to the past 2.5 years of Zofi Cash, growing and building, to raising a 1 million pre-seed round. Insane, but also an amazing achievement. But to also breaking that 30-day pay cycle, as you always say. So yeah, excited to learn more about that, and pass it over to you. So in a brief, just first tell us, who is Paul Kirungi?
I was born and raised in Mityana. I went to school, half of my primary in Mityana. Then the other half went to Gayaza, to a school called St. Teresa. From there, I went back to Mityana for my O-level, and then high school I went to Kampala SS. So that's kind of my
born
life.
And raised on the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. So how do you then get from Mityana to the US? How does that happen?
Right. So so after my high school, it was a little harder for me to join university. I hate to say it, but I don't think I was passionate about going to university. So I went straight into hustling, doing stuff here and there. So going through that after school life, I was just trying to find my way to a better place. And that's how I ended up in the US.
Definitely. So when you get to the US, what happens? Is it all that it seems? Does it get harder? What does your journey in the US look like?
My first job, I worked as a security guard. We hate calling it security guard. We used to call ourselves loss prevention. So they hire you to make sure that you prevent any possible losses that the business can incur.
That's a good idea.
That was my first job. Then after that, I started driving a super shuttle. Super shuttle was the taxis. Of that side, they work at the airport. They pick and drop off people from the airport to their destinations, or from their destinations to the airport. I did that, but while I was doing that, I was still hustling with startups here and there. At that time, I was running an online radio station. So I ran that for a little bit, sold it because it was a lot of work running it. I think that was actually my first kind of a startup. So
online
successful because I had an exit. So I mean, I'm calling it an exit, not to feel so bad, but I just sold it to some other people to run with it.
How much, if you don't mind me asking?
It was very little money. It was little money. Actually, what I really sold was a domain. It was very little money. But also, I didn't have the time to run it. That now brings us to the time when Zofi Cash became a thing. That was like my career.
Because I know you said before even you go to Zofi Cash, you had like 3 or 4 other things that you did, right? For lack of a better word, 3 failures, quote unquote, before that success or the thing that worked out. So I also just want to learn and hear more about what those other 3 things that you worked on were for you, and the learnings that you took that then lead you to the journey of Zofi Cash.
Right. So the first one was the radio station. The second one was money remittance. And the reason as to why it failed, I didn't do research. I just saw like a quick fix. But mobile money remittance is something huge, something big. First of all, for anyone to run a money remittance company in the US, you must be licensed in all the 51 or 52 states of the US. Whoa. You have to get an individual license from each state of one of those states. Wow. Whether you have only one client or no, you have to. So me running through it, I was already on the other side of the law, right? I'm sending money for people, but I don't have the license.
You don't have the license.
My next adventure was a dating app.
You've been all over the place, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm always looking out for the next big thing. So dating app was, dating apps were picking up in the US. Yeah. And I was reading about exits. Like, this guy did a dating app and he sold it for 100 million USD. So I was like, you know what? Africa, I know for sure Africa is the next big thing. And these things are not there. Yeah. So I hired the guys, they did the app, we came and launched it. When I look back, I think if I'd stayed a little longer, I think it would have picked up. But I gave up soon, because I didn't see uptake as I'd anticipated. Startup life, sometimes you have to be, not sometimes actually, most of the time you have to be patient. So I don't think I was patient enough. So that one also failed. It didn't work out.
And that was the last one?
That was that was the one that I did before Zofi Cash.
Okay, cool. So Zofi Cash, let's dive into that. Why Zofi Cash?
Why Zofi Cash?
Because for the dating app, there was a crunch on buying dating apps. For the remittance, mobile money was a big thing. And I think for all these things, there is either an emerging technology or an emerging trend that you then jump onto and you want to solve for that. Right. For Zofi Cash, what was that?
So for Zofi Cash, so in 2012, not actually 2010, I had my daughter, and I think that day the accountant wasn't in good moods. So I went there, my baby mama had just had a daughter, and she didn't have breast milk, so and I was stuck. So I went to him to get a salary advance, and she refused. He actually had a writing on his wall that I'd never paid attention, but it was there. It said that do not let your planning be my emergency. Wow. Still remember it, like I read it yesterday. So I couldn't get money, but it kept haunting me. Fortunately, I went to my immediate supervisor, who helped me who gave me the money that I used to take care of that. But fast forward, I moved to the US. I have friends and family, and from here and there, now and then, they ask me to help them with some money. And the only reason as to why they always asked me for money is they hadn't been paid. They hadn't been paid. They wanted a little help so that they can take care of what they're dealing with, then they can pay me at the end of the month. And they really did. So I kept seeing a vacuum. But also, I believe the only reason as to why I was able to help them, it's because I got paid sooner. In the US, they're like, if you drop Uber, as soon as you drop a client, your money is there to use. You know, most jobs would pay you twice a month, or at least once a week. So because I had that constant cash flow, I was able to help friends and family here and there. So all that put together, I imagined a solution that could actually solve this problem. I believe if people got paid sooner, they wouldn't come to me. I mean, I put myself in their shoes that if even though I was in the US and I was making a bigger chunk of money, if I was only getting paid once a month, there's no way I would have been able to come through for them. So that was the big turning point, the big aha moment. That was it.
Wow. So that happens in 2010, right? You try all these businesses and everything that happens, and then, because I know Zofi Cash launched in 2021.
Yes.
But before the launch, when do you start and get convicted and be like, I am working on Zofi Cash starting now?
So the first product was done in, I believe, May Now, like they're working on it until like November, sometime in November, and it wasn't good, so we do it again with Gordon.
This is May 2018?
2019.
2019?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do it again with Gordon.
Yeah.
Late November, early December, we do it again, and it took us the whole of 2020, 2021, because of COVID here and there. Yeah, it was building. But since we launched that app, we've never had to update it.
What?
It's working solid. Like what I'm trying to emphasize is the time that it took to get there, it's what has made it what it is today.
Interesting that you say that. Because most times when we are talking about development and producing products, the emphasis is on iterate, build fast, release, and test out very fast, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, you had, let's say, 2 years or 1.5 years to build out this application.
Yeah.
And do you feel that that gave you a better product experience for your users?
It did. And for me, I would never take a broken product to the market. My mantra is not build, iterate. No. I want to build a solid working product that when someone uses it, they want to come back and use it. We discount first-time customers' impression.
Yeah.
It means a lot. Like there are apps that I've gone to use, and the moment I found them broken, I never went back to them. Even when they did like 1 million updates, I never went back to them. So for me, that's it. I don't want to take that kind of experience to anyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting and powerful take on that. So let's talk about the launch. Let's talk about fast tracking through the development process. What did you do to prepare Zofi Cash for launching?
First thing that I made sure is that we have a good product. The next thing was to assemble a team. Even though we launched Zofi Cash in October, we set up shop, as in we set up offices, did everything in March 2021. And I wanted to make sure that once we hit the market, everyone on the team should know what our product is, what it does. So all that time, it was just preparing the team. Yeah.
A whole close to 6 months.
Yes.
Just preparing the team.
I learned that though from Nation Media Group. Nation Media Group, and it was a big lesson. When they were launching NTV, they had operations for 1 full year, but they were not on air. 1 full year, training their employees, training the reporters, training. I don't know how old you were, but when NTV went live, like there's no way you would ever switch to watch any other TV.
Interesting. So fast track, let's first maybe skip some time in there and come to where Zofi Cash is right now and the product itself. What have you done for the product and the application to maintain the relevance that you now have within the market?
Right. I think our product, our offering is very unique, right? And this is so when we first launched, people always, we went to pitch for business. People were like, no, but banks do that, right? And it was a big turnoff at start. But then we did research and found out that actually banks didn't do what we're doing. First of all, we give emergency money. No matter what time of the day, no matter what time of the night, when you go into our app, request for the money, and your employer approves it, you have it in 2 minutes. There is no single financial institution that can do that, right? There's no paperwork involved. Recently, I was doing a client visit, and I wanted to learn from them because we have adjustments that we're doing in our product, like we want to make it even better than what it is. And this client told me that they are suffering with banks. Their employees cannot access salary loans. They've been trying to chase, one of the employees has been trying to chase for salary loan for 3 months. 3 months. So imagine if you went to the bank with an emergency, would the bank come through? You know? Yeah, so I think our product is very unique. We've been very customer-centric. We want to know what our users want, and that's what we give them.
Wow. Yeah. Very interesting. And what's the product development cycle like for you as Paul? Because I know you're very passionate about product, right? So what do you do with a team that makes the product as great as it is?
So first of all, anyone, I'll tell you, I know that I'm not the smartest person on my team. I'm not. But working with smart people and smarter people, it plays out well, right? It helps us all. It brings value to all. Like my CTO, my co-founder, is extremely smart. I think he has close to 20 years of experience. I mean, he's not that old, but yeah. When I think about his experience, you know what, this guy is old.
You're very fun.
Yeah,
sure.
So, working with smart people, even though I hate broken products, I want products to come out fast. And he's the opposite. You know how I love like a good working product?
Yeah.
He's like 100 times more than me. So I think that has helped us, but also the people who are doing our business development, people who are doing our customer support, people who are doing our relationship management with our clients have really done a big job to see what Zofi Cash is, or to have that kind of experience. It's teamwork, like our accountant, our finance, they are great people. Our legal, they are great. Yeah, everyone on the team is good.
And talking about what you mentioned, 6 months before launching, you wanted to make sure the product is well acquainted even to your own team. What exactly were you guys doing during that time? How are you handling and making sure that the team is well abreast with the product that you're trying?
So 6 months, so we had the product, was working, we were testing the product. So we just had like days coming, let's test the security of our app. What would someone who wants to take advantage of us do? You know, we put ourselves in their shoes, try to think like, what if they think like this? What if they think like that? How do you counter it? How do you handle that? So that's one of the biggest things that we did. Every day we were making it better throughout that entire time. But also we're training them on customer support, like when clients are frustrated, how do you handle them? When they need help and you can't help them, how do you handle that? How do you deal with something that a client is asking for but you can't deliver it, you know? Because eventually we want to bring more products on the market. Like I said, if you don't give that good experience, maybe you lose that customer forever. So yeah, mainly those are where the major two things we're working on. Of course, we're also working to make sure our legal is in place. Yeah, so it was like a normal working day, even though we didn't have a working product. Yeah.
6 months again, and I'm sorry I'm just running this so much, but in most situations, a lot of startups fail not because they don't have great ideas, not because sometimes the team is not good, but in Africa mostly because they just don't have money in capital, right, to keep running. Like they don't have that leeway to keep going through that time. Yeah. Where did you get the resources to run for 6 months without launching a product? Had you raised at that time, or were you still bootstrapping?
First of all, we are committed from day one that this is it for us. We are in it all, right? So having that, then we started planning around our resources. How do we have us go longer? I remember when COVID happened, people had to go back home. We still paid them, but we were paying them half a salary, and they were happy about it, you know? So we were just bootstrapping. But also the other thing that I maybe should mention is throughout that time, it helped us to be investor ready. We got into our first accelerator. So we launched in October, And in November, we got into an accelerator program, which was, it wasn't rewarding money, but it was preparing us, getting us ready. And then in February, we got our first investment, again from an accelerator program. So all these things prepared us, you know. While, yes, it's hard to have resources to run, try to plan, you know. Yeah, not that they don't plan, but also I think having co-founders, having the core team sold into the vision, it can help. And it can help in two ways. It can help in when the days are long, when the nights are longer, these are the people who can hold your hand, right? But also they bring a lot of expertise and experience that when you go anywhere, people can see the value that you're taking as a product. In this sense, I'm talking like to the businesses that we're working with, to the investors that our early investors that we talk to, like the accelerator program, the Africa Roadshow trip, and then the Startup Wise guys. It was value, it was combined efforts, not just me, but from our tech and development team, from our finances, because as you're going through, as these guys are like assessing your viability, assessing the viability of your business, they are checking for these things, mostly the team.
So since we're now talking about finances and money, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the 1 million pre-seed round.
Yeah.
And beyond just putting a figure to that, I know fundraising can be exhausting. For like, it's a battle. It's a battle.
Yeah.
What did that journey look like for you? What do you think made it possible? What learnings? Yeah.
Fundraising, I think, has been the most hardest thing that I ever did or that I've done when running Zofi Cash. I can estimate of potential investors that I've talked to, I would say they're close to 200, like through cold phone calls, through cold emails, through reaching out, those who ghost you. Yeah, it's harder.
And this 200 includes the ones that you reached out to and never replied? Or
Yes. I mean, like when we just started, there was a day that I would just wake up and I'd say, today I'm reaching out on LinkedIn. Go search for investors who have invested in these kind of companies, who are actively investing in Africa. Spam them with LinkedIn messages. Now that I look back, I don't think I would do that, because I also get a lot of LinkedIn messages. Most of them look spammy, and I'm like, no, yeah. So I see myself as one of those, yeah. So yeah, it was a little exhausting, but every no that we got made us better. Every no that we got fine-tuned our storytelling, fine-tuned our resolve, fine-tuned everything that we're doing. Like, it's a journey, you know? It's a journey with steps, like you take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, until when you got there. I believe by the time we got to actually cross that round, we had, of course, we had built traction. We had a number of users who were on the waiting list. We had a solid team, and the team that was there, it's still the same team running it, you know? Yeah, I think, those no's just made us better. But it was very exhausting. I remember there's a team of investors who came to Uganda, and they were soliciting. I mean, they were looking for startups to invest in, and they were sold on what we're doing. They met my team. I wasn't here, and me and Gordon weren't here, but the rest of the team was here. So they met with them. They say, yeah, everything checks, everything looks good. But you know, we are people first. We invest in people. We would want to know you people. Who are you? Like, meet you in person, talk to you. He said, okay, what do you want us to do? Told us, well, unfortunately, you're not here, we're here, so if you can, maybe come to our country. That was in Mongolia. So I had to come back here, now get ready to make a trip to Mongolia to talk to investors. Go there, spend a full week, like they had to do everything again, go through our financials, do meetings, like some of my team were here, Gordon was away. We used to do like meetings like the entire week. Somewhere they say, okay, we'll invest in you, but they wanted to take over 50% of the company. They were giving us the money that we were asking for at that time, but they wanted to take over 51 of that. Yeah. That was a long day. Very long day, because they made it so awkward for me. So during daytime, we could do meetings, go through business, and then later on in the day, we go out. So that day they had prepared for us to go out. You know? Now, as we get ready to go, I'm like, now, how am I going to even have fun with these people? Okay. I felt like they just want to cannibalize on us. So I was so mad, I was so pissed, because any startup, if you are going to give over 50% of your company, what motivation are you going to have to come to work to? You know? And that time we had an angel investment, and the startup guys that had invested in us. So I just couldn't imagine, like, okay, so these guys have taken 51%. What are these guys going to keep? You know, they believed in us. Like, you guys, you found us because of the strides that we've made, because of these people. So I turned it down. 500,000, yeah, was that we were looking for. Turned it down. But when I went back to my hotel, just couldn't sleep. I just went to the shower. I remember I spent like about 3 hours in the shower, like trying to think this through. And we needed money because our clientele base was growing up. We have a team to take care of. And so you are at a point where, like, am I making the right decision? Am I just being selfish? Is this going to benefit the company? Is it going to benefit my other investors? You know. So while in the shower, I thought otherwise. You know what? I'm going to structure the deal different. I'm going to tell them, give me half debt and then half equity. And then they said no. I got pissed. Yeah. So I came back with a no deal, and that was one of my longest. Yeah, back home. Yeah, we're excited about it, but it didn't work out. And we still have conversations with them. Imagine, almost 3 years. They're trying to close a deal, so yeah. That's part of running a startup. Like, things are not rosy. Well, like, we might come every day and like laugh about stuff, like feel like you're winning. The nights which are long, man, when you can't sleep, when you can't figure out things, you know, and like a lot of imposter syndrome, like most especially for us, like who have not had a chance like to go to big universities, you know, like you are the CEO because you founded a company, but you keep wondering whether you are really the CEO. Like every day you make decisions, like you keep questioning, are you making the right decisions, or you know? But through those journeys, through going every day, one day at a time, you win, and you keep learning. We've learned a lot from the things that we've been doing. Yeah. And
so after this no and this failed deal with the Mongolian investors, how do you then turn that into a successful 1 million seed?
So we never stopped. We never stopped seeking investment, and actually we started on day one when we launched Zofi Cash. We had our pitch decks. They were not perfect. Like every single time I look back, and I look at them, I laugh. My first pitch deck had over 30 pages.
Whoa.
Right? My current pitch deck.
Very thorough.
My current pitch deck is 10 pages, and I'll never go beyond that. Yeah, like we had all this, like, why are we doing this? What is our mission, you know? And the reality that I've learned, investors are not interested in learning that for the most part. They're interested in the numbers. The business people, they just want to put their money where they're going to make returns. So only thing that you have to do right is make sure that you get business, you make revenue, get the numbers, build traction. You can't do it without a good product, so build a good product first. Yeah, and never stop talking to investors, never stop seeking investors.
Yeah. So let's talk about this 10-page pitch deck. What are those key things that moved from a 30-page pitch deck to a 10-page winning pitch deck?
So, my current pitch deck right now, first page is the company. Second page, the problem. Third page, the solution. Fourth page, our business model. Fifth page, how we make money. The business model is how we do partnerships with the businesses. And then the next one is how we make money, what charges do we make, what return do we make. The other one, the sixth one, is the market size. 7 is the roadmap, what things could look like. We also have a slide on the traction that we've built. That one has the people that we have, potentially as customers, and what investment can mean. And then the other one is impact. I don't know, but I've never had any investor ask anything about
the impact.
About the impact, yeah. I feel like it's one of the redundant slides that we have on there. Yeah. And then the last one is the team, and that's it. Yeah, I would never do anything other than that.
So, how many VCs or angels, like the bulk of your round? Was it mostly VCs? Was it angels? Was it a mix of both?
So the first was from a startup, from an accelerator program. And then from that accelerator program, we got an angel. That's the only equity investors that we have. And it's still convertible debt. But the 1 million was just a debt facility. Yeah. So it's money that we are using to make money. Yes.
So more of like a private equity firm.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh. All right. So, what are the future goals or plans for Zofi Cash? What does Zofi Cash turn into the next 5 years?
Yeah, when we first started, you mentioned about the 30-page day cycle.
Yeah.
Which takes us back to, remember what I told you, that the only reason as to why I got paid in the US, the only reason as to why I was able to help friends and family, because I got paid sooner. Literally, every Friday night, money hits an account, you know? That's where I would like Zofi Cash to take this continent, not just Uganda, but the entire continent, but of course, Uganda first. Once we nail it in Uganda, we believe it will not be so different from other countries and markets, because 90% actually, over 90% of the countries on the continent, they get paid once a month. So yeah, that one, which means we have to fine-tune our product offering. We want to be in the HR and payroll space. We want to do partnerships with other software companies. We're actually testing our business API, so we can plug into any platform that has like a bunch of users. They can get money and get paid when they get paid, so they don't have to wait. Yeah, that's the thing. The other big thing that we're coming up with, I think on our second anniversary, we're going to roll out an investment kind of feature that lets people bring money into Zofi Cash. We use the money to give it out as our advances. We make money as you make money. Yeah. It actually also came as a frustration from raising money.
Yeah.
We just couldn't raise money. We have people who need money. we said, you know what, let's build our own way of crowdfunding locally, because we have people locally who have money, not a lot of money to do an impact, but if you collectively bring them and bring their money together, you can actually do bigger stuff with it. So that's the inspiration from it. Oh, that's how we got to develop it.
That definitely sounds very exciting. So do you hope for an exit, or do you think you're going to be doing Zofi Cash for the rest of your life? Is this something that you want to build as a legacy, or is it another challenge or problem you're solving and then moving on to the next?
They say that businesses are never sold, they're bought. So if an exit came along the way, I'll definitely be happy. It's been very exhausting, I can't tell you. While we've had this success, it has also come at a lot of sacrifices. We've lost relationships, we've lost a bunch of things. So if an exit came, thank God. We'll take it. But until then, we're going to ride along. We're getting some interests from other markets that actually want us to expand there, as in people who think our product can work well into their markets, and they're approaching us, so yeah.
Wow. The other thing that I want to ask about is the unprecedented growth that Zofi Cash has had. Because when we look at all the startups most of the startups in Uganda, the big names that you can mention, it's either 3, 4, 5 years before they could raise a significant amount, or before they could even have a significant user base. You, before the round, have a 20,000 wait list of people waiting to get this application. And you've only been running for 1 year and 6-9 months right now. What's the strategy behind that kind of growth, that explosive but still consistent growth? What are you doing that other people need to do to get that? I
think, honestly speaking, our consumable is in high demand. Our consumable is money. And people are dealing with emergencies every day. I think we're just on time when we rolled it out.
Timing.
We're just it was timing. And of course, from all these other failures, we've learned how to be strategic in the market. How do we communicate our value proposition? I can tell you, and I'm not saying this out of pride, but the first marketing strategy that we ran on Zofi Cash for an entire year, we had to outsource a marketing agency.
Wow.
We're good, but we believe if we got someone better who knows this, they would speak it better than we do. So those are some of the big things that we've had to do. Came at high costs, but they've paid off. Wow. I think one of the things that hinders many startups and many founders is kind of in it but not in it. Kind of want to jump but they don't want to jump. For us, if it's a go, we all jump. Wow. Of course, we've made some mistakes here and there, like just as any other business, First of all, we're the first product that offers that. When we first launched, banks put up the same product as, but today when you look, they're not anywhere. But that, us standing in means we've had to take some hits. Like when we first rolled out, we're taking on any business, and we didn't do, well, it's not that we didn't do it, we had no any other way to do it, right? You have a new product, and you want people to use it, right? But also you can't just say that, no, we're not gonna give you our product. So we got some few campaigns that didn't pay us, but those are, actually that's, I think, one of the biggest challenges. But we learned it early, and again, it's because we built a solid team when we're starting. Our operations manager, Bernard, has a background in finance. He's worked with microfinances, he's worked with some banks, so having him on a team helped us. Doing finances, but I don't have any background in finance.
Yeah.
My CTO, Gordon, doesn't have any background in finance, you know. But that was the part of building the team that actually has got us where we are. Yeah.
Wow. That's a cool one. So, parting advice or advice in general to entrepreneurs out there or someone aspiring to start?
Right. There's this part in the Bible where Jesus called Simon Peter to come to him to walk on the water.
Yeah.
Right? Peter knew where Jesus was, right? And he started walking. As he walked, for some reason he looked, right? Yeah. And then he started sinking.
Yeah.
As we build, let's focus on what we're building.
Yeah.
Like certain things, you're not going to have control over them.
Yeah.
It's okay when they come, deal with them, but focus on the bigger picture. Don't fear to fail. Like failing is part of the journey. And actually, for the most part, we've learned a lot from our failures, which actually help us to structure our business better. Don't fear to fail.
Don't fear to fail.
Yeah, fail, get up, knock again.
That's very powerful. Well, I think that's all for today, Paul. Really appreciate you sharing and being here with us. It's been a very interesting conversation. And to our viewers out there, thank you very much. This was the My Village podcast, the show where we take you into the hearts of entrepreneurs, ecosystem players, and everyone in the innovation ecosystem in Africa. And today we had Paul Kirungi from Zofi Cash. Very amazing and powerful story right there. Our very own golden boy of the Ugandan startup ecosystem and the future father to all who want to get some support in building this out. Catch us again on the next episode. I've been your host, Collins Michael Mbulachalo, and this has been the My Village podcast. They say it takes a village to build a startup, and we're taking you right into the heart of it. Bye.